All right.
Hello, Carl.
Adam,
How are you, mate?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, brother?
Good. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, man, I can hear you really good.
Perfect. Sounds great to me, mate. Sounds great to me.
Awesome. How you been doing?
Very well. Just ran a 9 o'clock session this morning, cardio hit class, and yeah, it was solid, real solid sesh. Burnt
Nice.
not that it matters, but burnt 730 cal. So feeling good, feeling fresh.
That's what I like to hear. How many people are you getting for the online training?
Online training differs obviously day to day. However, today we had about 13, but tomorrow, for example, we're obviously offering a free session for a lot of people who haven't tried Bodyfit training and want to obviously see what the fuss is all about and whatnot. And obviously being Anzac Day, so I think we'll get about 40, 50 tomorrow.
Oh, I can't wait. And we're definitely going to get into all of that because, look, basically why I wanted to get you on, man, you are a local trainer to me. So where I started was obviously Anytime Fitness, Roxburgh Park,
Yep.
which is just down the road from you. I know you were training at F45 Roxburgh Park as well. And
Yes.
while you were there, I know you were training a lot of my guys as well. They were sort of double dipping. They were doing a bit of weight training at Anytime and then doing a bit of F45 over there. Essentially moved over to Bodyfit Craigieburn as well, which I'm very excited to sort of hear some of the nuances and some of the differences between that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, I personally haven't had a lot of experience with really structured group training. A lot of the group
Beautiful.
training, yeah, so a lot of the training that I've done has been more resistance training, coaching, everything like that, with obviously doing a little bit of group X there, but it's all sort of been run within my own parameters and with my own sort of exercises and how I wanted to run it. So very excited to
Yeah.
get into all of that, man. But before we even get there, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into group fitness training?
All right. So how I got into group fitness training, to be entirely honest with you, I'll do the background story shortly. However, a couple of years ago, I was training at the time at F45 in Preston, and the owner there had a conversation with me one day and said, "Mate, your personality, your knack for it, you love fitness. You're obviously not boasting, but fit as anything. You just your knowledge, nutrition, and you love people. You'd be amazing. Come and see me if you want a career change." Because at the time, I was actually in the security industry. But prior to that, I was actually a one-on-one PT, similar to yourself at Fitness First. But the unfortunate thing with that was I was so young. I was 20, 21. As you can imagine, at that age, people going out and didn't suit my lifestyle. All my friends would be going out, and, not partying necessarily, but just movies, coffees, dinners, this that. Whereas I'd be training clients.
Yeah, well, that's just it. When it's one-on-one training, a lot of it is designed to be either early mornings or late at nights, which means, you can't go out late at night. You usually working weekends. It's, yeah, it's a bit of a lonely life.
It is, and to be honest with you, look, I'll be truthful. I was really young, and it was a time of my life where going out clubbing and being with friends, was a massive part of growing up. And obviously, early mornings, late nights didn't work with my lifestyle, and that's just being completely honest. I am not regretful at all because obviously, look, the money was great, the experience was unbelievable, but it made me what I am today. I traveled, done all the things I needed to do, and at the age of 28, I started to reconcile my life and go, this is where I want to be.
Wow. And did you find, this is more personal, with security, did you find you had similar problems? Like, did you go straight from one-on-one to security, or was there some middle in between there?
What happened was, in between there, I was working with my father at his computer recycling business, and we build computers from the ground up. B&S Remarketers is their name. They're based in Camberfield. And yeah, I was with him for a fair while, and then I met my wife at the age of 24. And slowly but surely, I thought, where did I want to be in my life? It still was in the fitness industry, but obviously, as you can imagine, the lifestyle didn't suit me at the time. So a friend of mine had a position available at the Melbourne Fire Brigade in their security sector. So I joined the Melbourne Fire Brigade at that point, and slowly worked my way up to a supervisor, then a managerial role, and then moved over from there to Facebook head office, 720 Burke Street.
Oh, yeah.
And and yeah, it's obviously Facebook head office, and I was there for a few years, and as well as there, I just thought to myself, look, obviously I'm doing fitness, I'm training in the gym, 5-6 days a week. My nutrition's down pat. I've got to get back into the industry. So slowly but surely, obviously, got myself back in the industry and started from the ground and obviously worked my way up. It's still not over. The journey's not over. The journey's still continuing, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds. However, I went to F45 in Roxburgh Park. I was there for a couple of years, and then got told that there was a Craigieburn facility of Bodyfit training, and I hadn't trained at Bodyfit training at all whatsoever because I don't know. There was Richmond, there was Collingwood, Hawthorn, just really, really far. And obviously I live in the northern suburbs, and it's obviously a bit of a trek. So got obviously familiarised myself with Bodyfit training, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't look back now.
Wow.
I think stuff that they're coming up with is unbelievable.
Okay, that's a big statement. Give us a little bit more info on Bodyfit training in particular. What sort of separates them from other Group X?
So Bodyfit, where do I start? Bodyfit training, obviously we offer 50-minute group training sessions, but we're set to a target fat loss to build lean muscle. So there might be some weeks that we're obviously targeting fat loss, some weeks building lean muscle. Macronutrients, micronutrients are included obviously with our programs, with our training loads. In terms of BFT, it's massive, absolutely massive. We're slowly but surely, it's a long process, of course, but we're slowly but surely going to be up there in the ranks of the world, because in America there's one in Santa Monica, but by the end of 2021 there's going to be 60 or 70 America-wide. So in terms of Bodyfit training, though, a lot of people, the comparison that people actually ask me is, what's the difference with, because Bodyfit training comes up against F45. I don't know how or why, but unfortunately it does. People will say, what's the difference with F45 and Bodyfit training? Look, the biggest difference for me is Bodyfit training is a program, is a pure program. Overall, we're more, I'm not downgrading anything to any other company or whatnot. However, we're overall a more structured, resistance, strength focused. So a lot of weights based. We're more weights based. So we're programmed with a 4 to 7 week training block down to a more deliberate muscle energy focus through each workout. It's basically how I like to dumb it down to some people. It's a mixture between high intensity interval training and CrossFit. So we've got a lot of EMOMs, AMRAPs, you go, I go, stuff like that. In terms of our weight sessions is one thing that I really like, because ours are repetition based, not time based. So, for example, say hypothetically, you and myself were training, and there's a class we have called strength, and we're doing, say, for example, bicep curls. We'll have 5 minutes, 20 day on the clock, do 5 sets, you and myself. So we can take our time like we're in a gym, okay? So, but the first, say we've got 5 sets, hypothetically, 5 sets in 5 minutes, 20, okay? First set, 8 reps. Second set, 6 reps. Third set, 6 reps, 4 reps, 4 reps. So as you can imagine, with the repetitions going down, the weight will obviously come up, or of course will be staying stagnant. What I found with other high intensity interval training facilities, whether it be the F45s or whether it be the other ones out there, they're a lot of time based. So if I'm doing bicep curls, I'll give you 45 seconds on the clock. You just pump out as many bicep curls as you can. Boop, the beeper goes, and you move on over to the next exercise. That's not the case. So
right, I really like that. I didn't know that about Bodyfit training. So with as far as the equipment that you're using, it's adjustable weights, so you're able to sort of add weight, take off weight as needed.
Yeah, of course. So hypothetically, we've also got an incorporation of a you go, I go type scenario. So hypothetically, again, if you and I were partnered up and we're deadlifting, say with a trap deadlift, perfect. You and I would load that up, and it'd be a you go, I go, for say 4 minutes 45 on the clock. So you'll perform 8 reps, you'll jump out, I'll jump in 8 reps. You'll go 8 reps. So hypothetically, over that 4 minutes 30, we're probably lowering the weight, if anything, because we're obviously fatiguing, and the lactic acid buildup in our muscles will be obviously fatiguing to a T. But in terms of the workout itself, so we can perform 10 sets if we really work, bust our chops here, you and I. Otherwise, if we're going at a slow pace, maybe 8 or 9 sets. So a lot of people say, how many sets am I going to complete? That's entirely up to yourself. You want to work, you can perform 12 sets, and a lot of them will be drop sets. So it'd be hypothetically, say we've got 100 kilos, you and I have performed 8 reps, 8 reps, 8 reps. Now we're struggling a little bit. Look, we might take 20 kilos off. Now we're performing deadlifts with 80 kilos, still for those 8 reps though. So
Okay.
it's more of a drop set scenario. So little things like that we incorporate. Whereas I find with a lot of other high intensity interval training facilities, it's just more time based. 30 seconds, boop, time goes, you move on. Whether it be bench press or anything like that, because that's even another thing. Progression. You need to progress. Because I, for example, was training at F45 in Coburg at the time, and I was finding that I was doing, a bench press, dumbbell bench press, 25 kilos, but 12, 13, 14 weeks later, still doing 25 kilos. That shouldn't have been the case. What should have been the case was maybe every 3 or 4 weeks upping my weight by maybe 2.5 even, because I know they don't go up too high. They go up in 2.5 increments, but there's no progression there. So week 1 to say end of a challenge, say week 8, I shouldn't still be on 25 kilos pushing for a bench press. Shouldn't. No, there's no reason in the world. My
Absolutely
not. Pat, my sleep's down pat, my hydration's down pat, everything. Stress levels are low. I should be 110%, obviously, progressing with that weight.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Now, so do you actually track that within the facility? So does each person have like their own little paper, or do they do it online, or is it sort of like up to the coach to remember what weights they were doing? How do you sort of monitor that?
So how we'll obviously monitor that in terms of we obviously are coaches. We don't classify ourselves as trainers. We're actually coaches. So as you'll see as yourself, we're on our hands and knees helping these guys, whether it be spotting them, whether it be obviously upping their weight. Because look, it's a bit of a tough one in terms of we don't know obviously what people have been going through their last few days, whatnot. However, we just want people to genuinely push themselves and push to their boundaries, their very best. Give your very best, because there's nothing worse than someone coming in the morning or even late at night. They've had a tough day at work or they've had a shocking sleep, and you want them to come in and bust out 100-kilo deadlifts. There's nothing worse. However, all we genuinely ask for is them to be working hard, and obviously ask for structure, strength focus. So they already know that. But we just want them to really genuinely work hard. We're here to work hard. Again, some classes are more of a HIIT focus. However, ours are a little bit different with the HIIT focus there, with our AMRAPs and our EMOMs and stuff like that.
Yeah. So where would you put the sort of entry level? Do you think someone could never done exercise before, never had experience inside a gym setting? Do you think going straight to a Bodyfit training would be a good thing?
Look, to be honest with you, I would recommend that 110%. In terms of where I began in terms of a group fitness training, I was obviously training at an F45. And look, when people ask me what are the differences, whatnot, I give them a little difference. I don't go downgrading or upgrading one or the other. It's like you've got a Chevrolet and you've got a Ferrari. You have a Porsche, you have a Lamborghini. They're both great. Whatever works for you, you stick to. If it's working for you, stick to it. However, myself, I love a more structured resistance, strength focused type scenario. I love that. As you can imagine, I've been training HIIT. Then what would happen actually is this, Carl. I'd be doing an F45 session on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, for example, but I need to go into the gym. You won't need to do that with Bodyfit training. You only have the one membership. You're with us. You obviously it's a lot of resistance focused exercises. Now, I found the truth is I found that with whether I'd be F45 or I'd be training at a local gym in there, HIIT classes, whatnot, a lot of the focus there would be HIIT. And then I'd have to go to a gym. So then I'd have to spend more money and have to obviously take money out of my pocket and buy a gym membership. And then, obviously train in the gym. When here, they don't need that. One membership, there you go. This is a program. We are a set program. We're a deliberate set program. So each week we progress. So last week, for example, when I was explaining to you with, say, for example, 5 sets on bicep curls, we're going 8, 6, 6, 4, 4. The week after, we'll go 8, 8, 6, 6, 4. The week after that, 10, 8, 8, 6, 4. So obviously the weight ranges will obviously differ. And then another week, for example, 6, 6, 4, 4, 4, and we might have a 1 RM. Like that.
Wow.
Yeah, well, obviously not with bicep curls, but a 1 RM would be with a bench press, of course, or a deadlift.
Yes, of course. Wow. Okay, that sounds really, really conclusive. As in, like, it adds a little bit of everything. You've got how. I guess where I want to go from there is, how do you how do you get that individuality when so let's say normal circumstances, you're inside the gym, how many people would you normally work with? 10 to 15, 20 plus? What's the minimum and maximums?
Minimum would be about 15-ish. Maximum,
Wow.
I'd say about 25 to 30 maximum. The only reason there also is our coaches are set for one trainer or one coach per 15 members. So we will split down the middle, because obviously with any other gyms or whatnot, I've noticed that both the coaches or the trainers would be together maybe 3-4 meters apart. No, I'll split the room. I'll go to the left. I'll stay there at all times. And my main focus is form, parameter. I don't want any injuries to anyone's, ankles, knees, hips, whatnot. And I want to make sure, obviously, when people are performing, say a push-up, for example, as you've seen in the last few weeks with the push-up on the Instagram. What is it called? The give 10 and pass it on or something?
Yeah, that's the one.
How horrendous has some of the form been?
Yeah, technique is definitely something that I'm really looking into, on how to sort of get it out to the masses and how to talk about it to get the most out of exercise. Because, yeah, man, I think one of the things with group exercise in the past or in general, or what's sort of one of the things that you would normally think about group X is it's all about just getting, like you said, the reps out or the time out. It's just like output based.
Yeah.
And for some people, I mean, like if your goal is, if you are in the morbidly obese category and you have to lose 30 plus kilos, then yeah, I guess all movement is good. But if you're trying to create a physique, or you're trying to, look and feel your absolute best, I feel like technique is 60-70% of everything, because you need to be, when you're actually doing these exercises, there needs to be there needs to be purpose. There needs to be, actual a reason to be doing it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But even in saying that, when people genuinely come through our doors, say the first scenario, say it is a HIIT class, our HIIT classes are second to none, only because of the equipment we use. I don't know if you've had a look on Instagram or anything like that. However, we have ski ergs, S drives, equipment in a way where it's never been seen before. Never been seen before. I personally love an S drive. I don't know if you've used one before.
An S drive.
S drive. Practically, what an S drive is, it's a self-powered treadmill. Plain and simple. I say it simple.
Oh, yep. Are you there, mate? I think I lost you.
You here?
Yep, you're there.
Yeah. Yes, I'm here.
All good, mate. Yeah. So the S drive.
S drive. So the Matrix Fitness S drive. So you sprint, it will go to your pace. You jog, it will go to your pace. It's all determined on the steps you take. If you jump on an S drive and you sprint your heart out, with your heart content, it will stay with your pace at all times. It's self-powered. You step on, take that first step, boom, it's on. It's not like a treadmill where you press a button, whatnot. Also, there's a parachute sprint option. You see a lot of NFL players, whatnot, have a parachute on their back and go for a sprint. 1 minute sprint, and then for 5 rounds, come back, walk back, sprint, fartlek running. Exactly the same. They're unbelievable piece of equipment. You're pushed out of your fitness, out of your comfort zone. However, I just love getting on it and going for that quick, interval running sprint, and I'll taper off, say, for 10, 15. Then we sprint. So, for example, in a scenario when it's a HIIT class, we do a 15, 15. So 15 on, 15 off. I mean, explode out of the blocks. Explode out of the blocks for 15, like a sprinter. That's the way I like to give that analogy. Like a sprinter. A sprinter would run 100 meters, obviously world-class sprinters, in under 10 seconds. However, someone like us, between 10 and 15 seconds, okay? So you come out of the blocks, you explode on the S drive for 15 seconds. Then you'll rest. You don't stop and just stand there. You just jog now. You're jogging for 15. So it's like fartlek running, like an AFL footballer, designed like an AFL footballer. You go for a sprint, 15 seconds, ease up for 15. Sprint for 15, ease up for 15. 10 sets.
10 sets.
10 sets, yes. So little things like that.
Boy, you crazy.
Also, you've obviously used an assault bike or a bionic bike.
One of my favorites, yep.
Love them. Imagine going from an S drive to an assault bike. But again, 15 on, 15 off, 15 on, 15 off, 15 on, 15 off. So our HIIT classes are second to none. Look, I won't lie. There is obviously the component of burpees and plyometric lunging and stuff like that, like ladders and whatnot. However, most of our focus are around the bionic bike, which is known to a lot of people as the assault bike, S-drive,
Yep.
ropes, rowers, ski erg. I love a ski erg. They're unbelievable. So that's what our focus is in terms of our cardio. So when people come in, they go, wow, I've never used this type of equipment before. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, look, I'll tell you why. They're one of my. Every single exercise you just named there are my absolute go-tos for cardio in general. Other than walking, I always try and push people to go skier, assault bike, rower, battle ropes, kettlebells, even any of those sort of things. And the reason being is you control the force that you output. You know, I don't really like you said, a treadmill where you set the time and then it sort of just keeps you there. It's sort of like this, 60 to 70% of your max at all times. I think there is so much benefit to that full exertion, that 100% energy, and then bring it back. And yes, that is, high intensity training, but I think there's just so much more into that. And it builds a lot of character as well, being able to see how far you're able to push yourself. You can always progress with those sort of pieces of equipment, which I just love.
Mate, 110% agree with you. And something that we incorporate in our training itself is the MyZone technology. I don't know if you're familiarized yourself with technology. However,
yeah, I've heard a little bit.
MyZone's just taken over completely. It's taken the world by storm. So in terms of your heart rate, we have gray, blue, green, yellow, red. Okay, red obviously means 90 to 100. In those MyZones that I was talking about, red, yellow, green, and blue, a lot of our target exercises, they will always have what target heart rate to get to. So there might be, say, burpees, for example, and it'll have a yellow love heart. So you know that you're going to be working from your max heart rate, 80 to 89%. Okay? Because unfortunately, if you're in the red at all times, 90 to 100%, there's no way you'll be able to finish the workout. This is designed, specifically designed for you. So yellow, for example, burpees. Then there might be, say, a moving plank, walking plank. That will be green, so 70 to 79%. Then you'll have the bionic bike, and that will say red, 90 to 100%. Then you'll go to another exercise that will have yellow, green. It's different color characteristics, and you'll match it up later in your MyZone, and you'll notice that, okay, your little graph there, red, yellow, green. So what we really want to do is focus on, say, for example, Usain Bolt. If you looked at his heart rate when he was doing his training, okay, you would see, at the end of a session, you'll get your MyZone report, or you'll probably use a Lionheart or whatnot. You'll have a MyZone or Lionheart report, and it'll have a graph. It'll show you the graph of the heart rate, a little spike, up, down, up, down, up, down. A lot of people are focused on jacking their heart rate up to, say, 90% and keeping it there. And they've just got that little jagged line at the top. So it's 90, 95, 90, 90 at all times. Here, our focus is getting it up. Then we taper off, ease up, calm down, get your breath back. Let's get our heart rate to about 60, 70%. Then we go back up again to about 85. Then we'll come back to about 60, 70%. Then we'll jack it up again. So back, forth, up and down. We've literally got waves. So that's our primary focus in terms of a HIIT class.
Well, yeah, I think it's very important in that sense, because like you said, if you stay at 100 the whole time, 90 to 100% in that red zone, you will get to a point where you fail. Yeah. There is going to get to a point where your heart rate will get to a certain point where you physically couldn't keep going if you wanted to. And I think with group training, and I think one of the things that, obviously is spoken about a lot, but I think is not really considered from people that are very bro or only stay in their own, they always train singular and they're always doing resistance training, is, I think there's such an important factor to feeling good at the end of the session and feeling a sense of accomplishment. I think that's what a lot of people get addicted to, and staying in that 90 to 100%, and people trying to, whether you're, doing a group training or you're doing something at home, if you just try and go 100% all of the time, you just get to a point where you can't go any further, and that's not going to give you the benefits that you're after. That's not going to allow you to train for the amount of time that you need, because like you said, the group fitness, the training is up to 50 minutes, and if you're in the red zone for the first 20 minutes of that, I can guarantee you the next half an hour is going to be very suboptimal. You're not going to be able to give your best, and you're not going to get the most out of it.
It sounds to me like you definitely should come on down and give this a shot. I tell you what.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely, definitely.
Um.
Because that's the thing. That's the
Well.
thing. You train at Bodyfit training. You don't necessarily need to train at the gym. There's no reason why. And I've got a lot of friends that train it, whether it be Orange Theory or whether it be an F45 or whether it be some other scenario, and they have a gym membership. And I see them in the gym more than they're in their training for studios.
Well, yeah, that's what I see a lot of. Especially, I haven't been at Rocks. I haven't been in Roxburgh Park since you've been at Bodyfit. I was at Roxburgh Park while you were in F45, and yeah, like you said, man, people would do their morning session F45, but just just their cardio. They would literally just consider it cardio, and then they would come in and do their weight session with us.
Okay. See,
and that would happen a lot.
That's exactly what people look at it as. They look at it as that's their cardio, because obviously, look, cardio is not for everyone. Not everyone loves cardio. However, they do that and then obviously go to a gym and train in the gym. I've seen it as well. You're right.
Yeah. So, look, you now obviously things have changed up a little bit. What are some of the main things that you're considering now moving from in person to these online sessions that you're doing? What are the main changes?
Oh, well, look, everyone in terms of the isolation period, look, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. The biggest challenge I personally have is changing people's habits and mindsets, especially in the isolation period, because as you can imagine, you're at home, your pantry's full of mostly utter nonsense. But I find that especially those people that have come over recently from another fitness background, whether it be inside of a gym or an F45 or whatnot, they're in a bit of a habit. They go in, they don't have to think about anything, they go out. Here, people have to obviously change the way they think. It's a different style of training, and they need to think and stay more focused than obviously the habit that they were in the past. But with the isolation period, it's a little bit of a tough one, because I find it a pro being in the isolation period. Obviously, the con is not being in the studio and enjoying seeing everyone's face each and every day. However, in terms of isolation, we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. We're all in this together. So if you told me, though, say whether it be 1, 2, 3 years ago, that there will be one day in the next few years that you stay home for, say, God knows how long we're going to be until we get back. However, you said that you could stay home for 1, 2, 3 months, wake up, train, eat nutritious food in the comfort of your home. You take that in a heartbeat. Obviously, it's easier said than done. However, you would take that in a heartbeat. What I find that is a bit of a struggle with people is that they genuinely have in their mind, I'm in isolation, this is the worst, and whatnot. Look, we're all in the same boat, though. That's what I try to instill in these people's minds. We're all in the same boat. What we have to do is try to stay motivated, try to keep that mindset there. Obviously, train. As long as you're getting your training in, right? It's going to be hard to stick to a maintain a nutritious, diet and a nutrition plan, because a lot of people don't have, the drive and whatnot being in the isolation period. How are you finding the isolation period?
Look, man. To be completely honest with you, it's been an absolute roller coaster. The first week that it happened, I was in a little bit of shambles. I was like, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. How am I going to change everything onto online? It was a little bit of angst, I guess. But the following week, I felt like I was in a really good groove. Started the podcast. I was eating really well, and everything started to sort of fall together. I was like, hang on, this actually isn't too bad. And then I went through these last 2 weeks where they sort of felt like they weren't going 100% again. It was just been very up and down. But at the end of the day, I think you're 100% right in what you're saying. And when you're now that we are here, what I try and remind people is that you are officially in full control. You are in control of what food comes into your household. You are in full control of what exercise you can do. Now it's just a matter of motivation. Now it's just a matter of, discipline and motivation, as a combined thing. And it's just sort of showing if you're not able to succeed during this period, if you're not able to either maintain so that when you get back to the gym, you're feeling good, or you're able to continue on your goal, let it be muscle gain, fat loss, health, anything. If you're not able to achieve that now, it just shows that a gym, I don't think a gym can change that. I think there's something a little bit deeper emotionally, mentally that, you really need to work on right now to find out why you can't create a structure or a routine for yourself when there's no there's really no external factors outside of your home. And obviously that is it's very generalized, and there are obviously still people working and other things that sort of affect that. But at the end of the day, you are in control. You're in control of your household and what food comes in there and what exercise you can do within that realm. So, I think it's hard to, I think it's very hard to tell people exactly what to do. And it's really what is important now is just keeping the routine or creating a new routine, which is, I guess, a little bit more accurate, and finding out what is going to work for you and
it's
just doing
hard
it.
Because in ISO, we're obviously forced to go digital. And, with BFT, we've introduced something called BFT to you at the moment with our classes and the workouts. We have a Zoom session. Obviously, this Zoom is just completely taken off and going bonkers. But we have 2 sessions a day, a 9 a.m. and a 5 p.m. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult to, structure a class through obviously digital, a camera basically. But we're just trying to get people to log on. Once you've logged on, that is the hardest part. You're done. Because now you're locked in, mate. You're with me for a good 50-minute session, okay? Once you're with me, obviously, I'm going to help you stay accountable. I'm going to motivate you as much as I can. I'm going to work with you to make sure you grind this session out. And you're obviously very, very pleased and go eat a nice, nutritious meal at the end of the day. It is tough for people to actually just go in their email, click their Zoom link. I don't know. They find that being the toughest part of it. But I just genuinely believe you click that link and you come in and obviously join our Zoom session. It's all over from there. You're staying with us for 50 minutes, and that's another thing I wanted to say before was our sessions are based on 50 or 55 minutes. So with that 55 minutes being talk time and stretching. So a good 45-minute session is the actual sessions, because I know there's a lot of different companies, different studio facilities, whatnot, that claim whether it be 40, 45 or 50 minutes, but they're including their warm down, cool down and stuff like, cool down and warm up and introduction in that as well. So really you're only training for 32 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely see that a lot, and I know even within mine, they'll call it, when I was doing group fitness and still am doing a little bit at any time, they'll say it's a 45-minute session, but yeah, you're right, it has to include all those other non-negotiables that you have to make sure you do. And yeah, a lot of it can get taken away, especially if you got some chatty people in the group, which I'm sure you would get.
Of course. But if you do the math there, hypothetically, so 45-minute session, then you have 4-minute talk time, you have a 3-minute warm up, then you have, say, a 4-minute cool down. There's already 11 minutes, but there was a 45-minute session. So that means technically the workout's 34 minutes, but including your, say, 15, 20, 30-second rest between sets and then your hydration breaks, whatnot, you're looking at about 29, 30-minute workout.
Not to mention, so depending on the type of exercise it is, the amount of rest periods in between that,
and your hydration, like say 1 or 2 minute hydration break between exercises or between sets or laps, whatnot.
Yeah, slowly gets whittled down, but. Yeah, look, I think what you were saying before, that the hardest part of getting into this is clicking on that link and just sort of taking that action with it. I couldn't agree more. And that's sort of the approach that I'm taking is, that's why I'm sort of creating sort of podcasts and resources and sort of putting out YouTube videos out there, because it doesn't really matter. Even if you're not in a place right now where exercise is your main priority, that's so okay, because it's so, you're on a lifelong journey when it comes to exercise, health and fitness. You should be trying to do something that's going to stay with you long lasting. And I would much prefer people in this time, if they're not feeling comfortable. I don't really feel comfortable training in my own home, especially inside. I've always struggled with it. I did a couple of videos in my lounge room and yeah, they just don't feel natural, and it is what it is. But, using this time to expand your knowledge, understand how you train, what is a good way to train, what are some good protocols, what are sort of the non-negotiable things that you sort of have to keep in, whether it be hydration, sleep, blah, 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 and actually learning a little bit more about those things now so that we can implement them long term.
I agree with you. It's just the hardest part with the ISO period, especially on the Zoom, is it's never going to be like our studio. It's state of the art, the equipment, whatnot. But people just have to take a step back and realize that we're all in this together. Everyone's in the same boat. It is what it is. Let's get stuff done. Plain and simple.
Yeah, just get it done. And that's what, what I'm thinking about, I'm looking at is sort of just exercise of the day, where it's under 10 minutes and it's one form of exercise and it's just one set, whether it be body weight or dumbbells or whatever, and just do that. just get something and allow that to create a habit, of just doing that one thing that is super easy, and use that as an anchor, and then allow all these other habits to slowly form in. Good, brother.
I don't know what happens there. I'm on full bars of Wi-Fi, and I'm just sitting down at my desk here, just relaxing.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm walking, so I think sometimes it sort of clips out, but it's all good, man. I'll just clip it. So yeah, look, now I guess what I want to talk about with you is your little personal journey, a bit about you, and I know you had a bit of an injury a little while ago. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yes, that was. I wouldn't wish an injury upon anyone, mate. I can tell you that. To be honest with you, so basically, I was giving a few people some advice regarding training and nutrition, and the answers I was always, "You've always been fit and into the gym." Look, I was fit and into the gym years ago. Okay, then what happened was I got back into fitness. Obviously, being in the security industry, I got back into my fitness. And then I just thought to myself, I'd share a post on Instagram, what happened over the last 11, 12 months. And in April, I went to my local gym training. Hello, Carl.
All right, this is the one. So are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Beautiful. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to the audience right now that I've been trying to find out about your injury for the last 20 minutes, and for some reason the podcast does not want it. So we're going to try one more time. I'm going to round it up. I'm going to sort of delete everything from beyond. So you were training with one of your mates. You were doing a shoulder press at the time, and after your second set is when you felt like a knife sharp pain in there. Am I correct?
Yeah, real sharp pain, and to be honest with you, just can't even explain how bad that pain was. My wife was obviously with me every step of the way, and because I'm used to being so fit in my time, I just thought to myself, once my nephew was born, I had a photo with him on my mum and dad's couch, and this was going back probably October last year. So this is April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 7 months after the injury. The motivation was at an all-time low. And to be honest with you, got back into it slowly but surely, and then haven't looked back since. My shoulder is 100, I would say 99.9%. Haven't had any issues with the shoulder press or anything like that. However, the past 12 months would probably have to be the most difficult of my 32-year life. And on my Instagram, there's a photo of myself on that same couch, I think nearly 6 months apart.
And the difference is just incredible, man. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Not to mention the tan, but a lot of people ask me about the tan. And I said, look, to be honest with you, I was actually treating a tan exactly like training. I'd go out, I'd put my sunscreen on, I'd stay under the sun every hour and a half. I'd come back in, I'd reapply, I'd just stay under the front, 30 minutes on the back. Legit, I was actually something you had to train for.
That is amazing. So you're telling me that tan is all natural?
That is all natural with keratin from Greece. My sister-in-law is an absolute champ, and I'm here. So that keratin stuff is from Greece. So whenever they sell in Australia is absolute shambles. The Greek stuff, unbelievable. I think they even sell a bottle on eBay for about $70.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Literally.
Well, I've got some research to do.
It's really good stuff.
Beautiful. All right, man. Well, look, where can people find you?
People can find me at Adem Beck Fitness on Instagram. So that's ADEM, Adem with an E. My parents call me Adem with an E specially. ADEM BEK Fitness on Instagram, Adem Beck Fitness. Or, of course, at Bodyfit Training in Craigieburn. More than welcome to, send me an Instagram DM, whatnot. Come in for a sesh. Even yourself, Carl, would love you to come in for a sesh, mate, and see what the fuss is all about.
Yeah, you've got me a little bit excited. And so one of my main guys that absolutely loves you, and one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on board is Abbas.
Oh, Abbas, yes. He's come a long way, mate. He's come a long way. I don't know if you've seen a few of his photos lately.
Man, he is just amazing. He's been on that journey for a few years now. When he first came and saw me a few years back, yeah, like he wasn't too happy, and he just was one of those people where he put his mind to it and he just went, like he just changed his life, you know, got into running, got into everything, weight
Yeah,
training, and he just like he just took it by storm. And yeah, like all progress photos, you know, it's just been this nice steady you know, you see a lot of people, including myself, where, you know, they go sort of somewhat overweight, or, you know, not looking very good, coming down all the way and then back up and then down. And, you know, whereas Abbas has just been like straight down, and, you know, and still improving to this day, which is just incredible.
yeah, he is. He's doing really well. And also another guy that's doing really well is Joey Lieto. Um, he's
What
smashing it.
he is just a beast among men, isn't he?
I really want him to train with me. So if Joey, if you're listening to this, mate, would love to get you back in the fold and get you absolute primed that one day competing 110%, no doubt about that.
That's exactly what I've been saying to him. I say he's built for it.
Yeah.
He's got amazing structure. I'm excited to see. He seems a little bit interested in it, which is very good. You know,
Yeah.
he asks the questions, and he's thinking about it. So I reckon it's just a matter of time with these boys.
Yeah, yeah. If he puts his mind to it, mate, he can be anything. He's got the structure. He's got the expertise. He knows his stuff. He's got the two little ones as well. He's loving it.
Oh, and the discipline, man. So
Yeah.
he just completed the F45 challenge, and basically what happened there was we had an anytime challenge a few years back, and I was obviously a PT there, so I was writing up programs for a few people. And in the first one, he all by himself, no program, no diet, no nothing. He took out the number one placing for the first anytime challenge.
Wow.
Yeah, for the males. So, and I asked him afterwards, because I had the female winner for that one, and I asked him afterwards. I was like, bro, what did you do? You know, how'd you make that happen? And he was just like, I don't know. He's like, I just trained and ate potato and meat, and that's really all I did. And I was like to him, no. I was like, next time there's a challenge, I was like, talk to me, and we'll sort of work out something a little bit more structured. And, you know, he came down, second challenge came a few years later, and he was like, all right, let's do this. So I wrote him up a plan. We sat down, we worked everything out. And after 2 weeks into the challenge, I got a message from him saying, sorry, mate, like just stuff's come up. I won't be able to do it. And that was pretty much the last time I saw him for a while. Didn't really get much of an explanation. I was like, you know, such a shame, because I knew he was going to crush it. And then, yeah, didn't speak to him. I mean, like, I saw him around, but never really brought it up again for a couple of years. And then just a couple of months ago, they had the F45 challenge. And he messaged me. I saw that he was doing it, didn't think much of it. And then I get a message from him a couple of weeks in, and he's like, hey, I'm doing that program that you wrote up for me a few years back. Do you think it'll still work? And I was like, oh, give me another look at it. Gave it a quick look. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, it'll probably still get pretty good effects. And yeah, he was able to follow it and take out number one for F45 Roxy, which was just incredible, and so awesome to see, because I just know how much dedication it takes to do that sort of stuff. And the program I wrote was not for the lighthearted. So yeah, props to him as well.
Sure, but that's the thing, and I'm going to be honest with you. I done a challenge maybe 5 years ago, probably 5 years ago, and I done the exact same thing. So I'd do my cardio, as we say. We do our cardio at F45. Then I'd go to a gym. Then I'd also be training at footy. So it was an incorporation of a few things. Whereas I believe that if people come to Bodyfit training, they don't have to do anything on the outside. They just come in. They're sticking to our meal plans, which are all macro and micronutrient based to the individual, all to the individual, not one set calorie range for male, one set calorie range for female. We are set to the individual. So your macros will be designated to yourself, because it's true. You have one person, say one person's 100 kilos and 15% body fat, and you've got another guy that's 100 kilos and 30% body fat. They're on the same diet. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't be.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, or you've got someone that's 110 kilos, someone that's 80 kilos. They're both on the same diet. They can't be.
It just won't get they're not looking for the same thing, so therefore they shouldn't be following the same path.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm saying I believe that, obviously, good on Joey. He done really well. He smashed it. He literally killed that last challenge. I had a look, but the truth be told,
what he had to do.
Yes. Well, the truth, he had to do your program plus this, plus that, plus this, plus that. That's what I've been saying to him, mate. come in, do one challenge. We have a 12-week challenge. So we do 8, 12, and an 8, 3 a year. That is all. You'll come in, we'll do your scan, we'll go through your diet plan, down pat, making sure it's to the finest degree. You'll come in, you do your 6 sessions or 5 sessions a week. That's all you'll need to do.
Wow, that is so cool. And look, I'll be honest with you, one of my big problems with group fitness all the time, and I have been one to, bag on it a little bit and, talk not great about it because of that individual aspect, and because it's very hard to sort of show people exactly what they're after. But it sounds like Bodyfit as a company and as a business is really trying to tackle that side of things, and it sounds very, very promising and very exciting for where it's heading. So as we wrap up, man, tell me a little bit about the Bodyfit Craigieburn promotion at the moment.
So Bodyfit Craigieburn at the moment, we have a couple of promotions, to be entirely honest with you. We have a massive, massive promotion at the moment that we're giving away a lifetime free membership. Lifetime free. So Bodyfit Training Craigieburn is obviously going to be there for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, okay? So this is a free lifetime membership. All you have to do is jump on the Bodyfit Craigieburn Instagram, tag 3 people on the post it to your story, and follow us. That is all. You're in the running. We've currently got just over 304 people that have put their interest in. Other than that, every Saturday we're running a free Zoom sesh with myself at 9 o'clock or my good friend Maria at 10:30. So if you want to get on with that, obviously Bodyfit Training Craigieburn Instagram, or myself, Adem Beck Fitness. One last thing that I will say about Bodyfit before anyone questions it. One massive thing here, Carl, huge, that I have not even mentioned to you is, so you live in, say, Roxburgh Park. I live in Epping, okay? I train at Epping. You train at Roxburgh.
Stay with me, bro. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, awesome. Keep going, man.
So the beauty of it is this. If you live in, say, Roxburgh Park, I live in Epping, and I train at one facility, you train at another. That does not matter. There's no lock-in contracts, and two, I can train at your studio, you can train at my studio. We can go down to Collingwood and train at Collingwood together. You got another friend that lives in Glen Waverley. Let's train there with him. That's what it is. We're a family. You've got one membership worldwide. It's exactly like as they do with those little gyms, those Snap Fitness, Anytime Fitness, however, in a group-based facility. So tomorrow, for example, if I wanted to train, if that were open, of course, being obviously closed through isolation, if we're open, I train at Preston with my friend Chris. Then I'll go to Reservoir next week with my brother Adrian. Then I'll go to Epping. You know what I'm getting at? So you get to train with your friends. And sorry?
I was going to say, and the thing with that as well is that it's only going to become better and better, and probably a little bit more expensive with the more clubs that get into it.
Oh, for sure.
The more clubs that Bodyfit opens. Yeah.
Or in the north, we've got now Craigieburn. We've got Epping opening up. There's Bundoora, there's Reservoir, there's Preston. They've all opened up. So slowly, each suburb is getting their own Bodyfit training, but you can train at any. So also they've all got different times as well, which is really good because some are at 5 p.m., 5:15, 5:30, 5:45. So you got what's on at Reservoir, what time's Preston. Also, not every studio has the same sessions that same day. We run on an A timetable and a B timetable. So you might have a shred class on Craigieburn, but you'll have a cardio hit in Epping. So you got the choice. So look, to be honest with you, I'll say it and end it like this. This is the closest thing that you will get to personal training without the cost, because we are coaches. We all have our Cert 3 and 4 in fitness. Also I have nutrition. A few of our other people that are working with us have strength and conditioning, whatnot. We're all obviously qualified, and it's a massive variety of 50-minute programs, sometimes the hour on the Saturday, of course. Cardio, strength, functional fitness, core stability, boxing and fighting fit, pump. All our classes are specific and proven for high performance group training methods that are run by AFL, progression-based programs. So I can't sell it any more than that. Not that I need to sell it, because after one session, I guess a lot of people will be hooked, and that's the truth.
I could imagine, man. And actually, before we wrap up, is there any outstanding transformations that you'd like to mention, as far as inside the Bodyfit training, or has it been opened up long enough?
We have plenty. The truth is, our transformations are more physical rather than stats. I'll keep it as easy as possible. So people sometimes will go, "Oh my God, this person's lost 15 kilos." But 15 kilos of what exactly? Because you could have a person that's 100 kilos and 20% body fat and a person that's 100 kilos and 10% body fat. They're both 100 kilos, but they look completely different. Why? The body fat percentage. We focus on the body fat percentage a hell of a lot, because the truth is, visually, when you look at yourself inside of in a mirror, a lot of people look at themselves in the mirror, will jump on a scale and see themselves, say, at 90 kilos. 3 days later, they look at themselves in the mirror, they look exactly the same, but they jump on a scale and go 89.5. Oh my God, yes, I've lost weight. I guess on the body fit aspect side of things, ours is more physical to the eye, to the untrained eye, because we incorporate a lot of our strength-based programs, whatnot. You're obviously going to be building a lot of size and a lot of strength. So in terms of other studios or facilities, whatnot, a lot of their focus, I guess, is more stat-based. Mine's more physical to the eye, because there's nothing to say, just say, for example, yourself, if you weighed 90 kilos, it's not like I'm going to carry you and say, oh, yeah, you're 90 kilos. But visually, I've seen your photos there, Carl, looking amazing.
Yeah. And to me, I think that's 100% more important. I do advise scale. What I always say is, the scale is just a tool, but it should never be your measure of success.
Yeah.
It has to come from a place of physicality, and especially if you are coming from a place of, if you're exercising and one of your main drivers for exercise is to change your physique, then yeah, scale is just a tool, but that is not what is actually going to determine when you're happy. You're going to be happy when you are able to take a photo side by side and you can see the physical differences.
Yes.
And that is exactly what, people should be aiming for. And that's, I think that can be achieved really well through something like Bodyfit, which is really exciting to hear, and good to hear that it's booming up and taking off.
Thanks, mate. I really hope you do get to come in for a sesh. I'll stay in touch with you 110%.
Yeah, you're getting me psyched for it. And my last question for the day, man, which I ask all my podcast guests, is, if there was one piece of advice you would give to someone trying to change their body and feel their best, what would you tell them?
I will tell them to just keep going, because if you stop now, you're going to be where you were 6 months ago, and 6 months ago you were where you are. Okay, because that's the be all and end all. Because a lot of people, look, it's hard to stay motivated 110% of the time. Okay, 110% of the time. So I say, just keep going, even if it's gradual progress, gradual, small baby steps. So instead of taking those 2-3 steps at a time, even a quarter step, just as long as you're progressing, as long as you're fitter than you were yesterday. I love to say that. I say that to a lot of people too. If you're fitter than you were yesterday, you're progressing. If you're stronger than you were yesterday, you're progressing. Okay. And a lot of people, I love to say this as well. A lot of people think of their end goal, whether it be in 1 year or 2 years or 6 months. No, think of what days are today? Friday. Think of next Friday. Think from now till next Friday, what I can do to be stronger, fitter, or more motivated. Those 3 things. And then next Friday again. Then the Friday after, 1 week at a time. That's how I go. I go 1 week at a time. Make sure my nutrition's down pat for that week. Just 7 days. Then in 7 days, I evaluate and go, gee, for that last 7 days, I've been thereabouts. Perfect. Let's go again. Let's reload. 7 days again. 7 days again. By the time you know it, you've gone 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, and it's flown, which it does fly. It does fly. So, yeah.
It happens all the time, man. And, you just think about it. We've already been in an ISO period for over a month now. Gyms have been closed for well over a month, and people have to start asking that question of, am I happy with what I've done? It has nothing to do, because at the end of the day, it's all relative to the person. Someone that was training 7 days a week, is going to look very different from someone that, was only doing 1 class a week.
Of course. And
people just need to ask themselves, am I proud of what I've done? Am I proud of sort of the progress that I've maintained or progressed forward? Or is it coming back? And by just having those shorter goals, as in looking at it from week to week, because this is the other thing as well that a lot of people don't really talk about, is it's never, ever, ever going to be a straight line from fat to fit. Yeah, if that is your main goal, it's not a straight line. It's going to need constant course correction. So you're going to follow something for a week, and even though you did everything perfectly to the plan that you were following, that doesn't always mean you're going to get the results that you thought you were going to get.
Yep.
So by looking at it weekly and week to week and, collecting the data and taking it in and deciding, then you're going to be able to shift that following week's priorities, or, shift that following week's things that you're going to do and create a better outcome week after week after week after week. And then that's when you look at it 8 weeks, a year's time, and be like, wow, it comes from that. It comes from the constant evaluation and course correction.
Yeah, no, you're 110% correct. That's the be all and end all. So if someone had to ask me, give me one piece of advice, I'd say, mate, just keep going, because the truth is, when you're in your rut, whether it be 6 months or a year ago, you want it to be where you were already now. If you stop now, you're going to be back there, and then you got to do this all again. Nah, don't do that.
Yeah, and that's something for you as well, because like you said, you have been training a long time, and you have been into the gym, but it doesn't take long, man. 6 months of an injury, and you saw what it can do to your body and your emotions and everything. It's something that needs a little pick me up every single day. You need to just add in those little habits consistently that don't allow you to go backwards. If we stay the same or push forward every single day, we're going to be in a great place, my man.
Yeah, well, mate, that's exactly right. To be honest with you, that's exactly right. And as you said, I'll be honest, 6 months of non-training, and a parma here, a pizza there, and a kebab here, a kebab there, and an ice cream, and popcorn in the movies. It all adds up, and you're not training. You're not burning those 3,000-4,000 calories a day. 2-3 weeks goes past, motivation goes. You're in a rut now.
Yeah, and the rut is much harder to get out the longer you're in it. People think that they can start tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes.
No, mate, 110%. I'll be honest with you, that is exactly right. People think, no, that's right, I'll start on Monday. But the problem is, last Sunday you said you're going to start Monday, and then this week you said you're going to start Monday. Every week you said you're going to start Monday.
And then we're in that same spot. And yeah, man, I'm just really grateful for people like you that are willing to get on and just talk about this stuff. I think keeping it inside the conversation is going to be extremely important, and keeping to talk about fitness and health and getting your face out and doing free classes for people. This is how we're going to get through it and be our best selves. So Adam, I can't thank you enough for jumping on, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. And look, at the end of the day, the fitness industry is a family. We're not in it for the money. We're in it for the love. And that's what we are.
Exactly. If people are in the fitness industry for the money, they definitely chose the wrong industry.
Exactly.
Thanks, brother. We'll have to do this again. And I'll definitely be seeing you at Bodyfit for a session once it all opens back up.
Champion, man. Thanks for having me.
No worries, brother. Have a good one.
See you, man.
Thank you so much for letting me in on your morning walk. It has been an absolute pleasure to get some people on here that want to talk to you about health optimization and staying motivated during times like this. I really want people to stay on track with what they're doing. Don't forget how good fitness and enjoyment and exercise is to your lifestyle and to everything that you do. So please keep it as a part of your routine. Use these podcasts to let them join you and to keep you on track and keep your mind on track. If you know anyone that is doing morning walks and is trying to keep their healthy habits on check, I would love for you to share this with them. Please review it, tag me in your stories. It's all going to be super helpful to me getting some amazing guests to talk to you about everything health, fitness, nutrition, and how to get your best body. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.